Grabe, no? It's an honor and a pleasure. Excited ako makausap yung isa sa veterano, magaling at pinag-uusapan na rin sa sports ang ating veteranong journalist na si Sir Homer Sayson. Welcome to Powcast Sports Podcast, sir. Good morning, good evening, ano ba?
12 midnight dito sa sorry. We are 1 in the morning sa Chicago.
Ay, grabe.
It's okay.
Pasensya na, sir. Pasensya.
No problem.
Alam mo, sir, basketball mostly yung sinusulat mo, pero yung pag nagsulat ka at nag-post ka, talagang ma-action eh. Parang boxing eh. May mga issue, yung kunwari kay Mikey sa PBA, mga insider report mo. At marami akong gustong malaman. Ang tanong ko muna, paano ba nagsimula yung journey ng pagiging sports journalist na malupit ni Sir Homer Sayson? Yan yung unang-unang tanong ko na sasagutin mo after this quick intro, sir. Okay.
Yes.
Powcast Sports. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.
Maikli lang yung pambiting ko. Sir, ano po ba? Paano po ba nagsimula? Kasi first time kita makausap at makaguest dito eh.
Well, it's a long story. I hope you have time. So, I started in the 90s. So, ang nangyari, I was a very big NBA fan. Even though hindi pa ako nag-reporter. So, I was big on NBA. But back in the 90s, wala pang cable masyado. Sa Cebu, in 1991, ang cable lang is yung Cebu cable. Pero they did not have the means yet na pumunta sa subdivision namin. So, the only means I could watch the NBA was Bombo Radio kasi may parabolic dish sila. So if you notice yung mga laro dito sa pag mag-playoff na, ang laro dito sa NBA playoffs is usually in the afternoon, which is like madaling araw dyan sa atin. So ang ginagawa ko, kasi hindi ako makahiram ng kotse ng tatay ko dahil, I was so young back then, wala pang lisensya. So what I would do then is sakay ko ng jeepney, punta ako ng Bombo Radio kasi may parabolic dish. So, pag may live sila. So, punta ako doon one night, nakita ako ng security guard, naawa siya sa akin, kasi nasa lobby lang ako. So, sabi niya, dito ka lang sa loob. And then, one night, yung reporter, I forgot his name, they also broadcast it live in the middle of in the early morning. Na-notice niya, kasi nang nag-play-by-play siya, sabi lang niya, pinasa ang bola sa number 5, pinasa sa number 6, ganito. Ako, piniprovidean ko siya ng pangalan. Like, I was not on the mic. Yung nasabi ko, si ano yan, Tom Chambers, si ganon yan, Kevin Johnson yan. So, sabi niya, next game, can you join us? So, that was the beginning. Tapos, narinig ako ng manager at that time, I think the late Bobby Nalsaro. So, sabi niya, kunin ka namin ng talent. So what happened was in the 1993 NBA Finals, Bulls live in the entire Cebu City, obviously live ang NBA Finals, di ba? Nagkataon, nag-brown out. So walang TV lahat, they all listened to Bombo Radio. The next day, I got an offer from both Sunstar Cebu and the Freeman to become their writer. I went to the Freeman kasi ang offer nila sa akin assistant sports editor. Not just a correspondent. May salary. Kasi yung correspondent, you get paid by the article. Pero yung assistant sports editor, tenured ka na agad. So that was in 1993. And I'd never stopped running after that. so ganon ang start ko. So
would you call this parang hindi siya intentional? Kasi iba yung hilig, iba yung gusto mo maging trabaho eh. Iba yung parang ito mo siya, parang parang pastime mo eh. Is it really your dream to become a journalist o nagkataon lang?
Nagkataon lang. I was my grandfather, my idol was a lawyer, so I had wanted to become a lawyer. That's why I went to UP High. My brothers went to UP High. And kaya lang when I was younger, para akong banda, no direction. So So, and then I did not finish college. I had like 5 semesters. I went to college, University of San Jose Recoletos, but I did not finish. I started, kinuha ako ng I was a member of the University of San Jose Recoletos debating team. So yung dean namin si Mila Espina. So I approached her one day. I said, "Ma'am, I don't want to go to school anymore. I'm the youngest of 3 sons. Yung mga brothers ko may mga trabaho na." Sabi niya, "Okay." So tinawagan niya yung one of the city councilors sa Cebu. Sabi niya, I was there. I was in her office and she said, "Hey, Mr." Because I don't have the liberty to divulge the politician. So tinawagan niya, sabi niya, "Mr. So-and-so, meron akong estudyante dito. Napakagaling. Kunin mo, baka kunin ng iba." So pumunta ako ng City Hall, then I was on the spot. I was hired as an information officer. Ang trabaho ko is to write speeches and to write the press releases. And, after that, nakakita na ako ng pera. And then at the same time, I still love, at that time, I was already working as a talent for Bombo Radio and The Freeman. So, ganoon, I was working both. I've always been an workaholic. So, 8 to 5 sa City Hall. And then after 5 o'clock, kasi mga editors, we don't have to show up until like 5, 6, to edit the stories. So after kung trabaho ko si Tol, punta ako ng The Freeman to do my editor's assistant sports editing job. And then matatapos yun mga 11 at night kasi wala pang, hindi kagaya ngayon, online na lahat eh. Back in the day, it was really newspaper printing. And then you repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. And then, next thing you know it, you make a name for yourself, sometimes in unflattering ways, sometimes in very good ways. But, yun lang. Sometimes, you mentioned it, a reporter, the goal is never to be part of the story. Sometimes when you are a columnist, kagaya mo, you're an anchor, you have your own show, you inevitably you become part of the story sometimes. So yun lang, reluctantly I become part of the story. But let me tell you something, marami ako mga haters, but I've never been shy to face them. Kasi yung sabi nila, you conquer your fear or let it conquer you. In so far as Twitter ko or Facebook, I just immediately block because I have no time for that. The haters, when I see dalawang sentence pa lang may mga cursing na, boom, block ko kaagad. If you can believe this, Pao, I have a very modest following of 9,200 sa Twitter. I have blocked more than 10,000. Sabi nga na kaibigan natin si Snow, sabi ni Snow Badua, "Boss, wag mo i-block yan kasi mas nararami yung followers mo." But I said, you know what? Yeah, sabi ko, but yeah, it's good, but by the same token, all those, para bang social media can sometimes be oxymoronic yes. In a way na, it's supposed to be public, but at the same time, it can also be private if you choose to. So sa akin lang is that I want to control my own conversation insofar as argument. If you notice some of my columns nga sa Spin, pag may mga readers na magandang ang point nila, I credit them in the column. And I said, "Hey, reader this said this and that." Pero if you choose to go in, yung mga tinatawag na keyboard warriors, they're so brave na kasi walang account walang pangalan, burner, di ba? Me, when I do a take at Spin, I have my face in there. When I get interviewed by Com Noli Ayala and journalists like you, I have my face on it. So, iba. Yung iba nga, wala. Troll lang, burner
yes.
account. So if you do not even have the temerity, the wherewithal to show yourself your true identity, what's the point of arguing? Para tayong nakikipag-away ng multo. Di ba? So yun lang. So yun lang ang hinanakit ko sa social media. But other than that, generally, social media is good.
Yeah, I appreciate yung mga opinion. Lalo na ikaw, sir, kasi ikaw, naranasan mo yung the evolution of the media, how it works. Ako, nakapasok lang ako ngayon the social media na. Naintindihan ko ngayon kasi, especially these days, yung writer o yung nagre-report, kasama na talaga sa balita kasi nakikita mo kanila, aatakingin sila pag hindi gusto yung sinasabi. But your kumbaga experience talagang speak for itself. But throughout this journey, would you say dun sa Bombo Radio ka nagkapangalan o saan ka nagkapangalan? Ang dami na workan. Saan nakilala? Oy, Homer Sayson. Ito yung sa sports yan. Kasi ngayon pag narinig mo yung Homer Sayson, insider PBA, NBA. Maraming alam yan, sir. Saan ka nagka-break talaga? Nagkapangalan?
My break began because back in the day there was no social media. Radio was the king.
Yes.
So yung Bombo Radio, it had the reach was unbelievable. But then from a local point of view, yung Sunstar, because it was the newspaper. It was the #1 newspaper in Cebu. But I was never really known outside of Cebu City. As a matter of fact, that's why si Snow, I'm grateful because sabi nga ni Snow, when he was still a 6th grader, tuwing pupunta siya ng Cebu, he always reads my columns. And then, fast forward in 2015, siya yung lumapit sa akin 2015. Sabi niya, I met him at the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight. And doon ako nagsimula sa spin in 2015. And it was Snow who told me na, punta tayo, boss, sa spin ka. So, obviously the spin is a very good outlet. They had to do their due diligence. So sabi na, hey, send a sample article. So I sent them a couple columns and the rest is history. Pero ngayon, it's I think the flight, if we may call it for a lack of a better term, my trajectory, kumbaga, would not be the same without social media. Ang social media kasi ngayon you do not need necessarily like for instance, yung newspaper ko sa Cebu, di ba? So people outside of Cebu do not necessarily read Sunstar Cebu, di ba? Kasi regional. Pero itong social media, like for instance, the power and the beauty of social media is that I can retweet paglabas ng column ko sa spin, I can retweet it and to give it spoon feed it to my consumers, to my followers.
Correct, oo. So global siya talaga.
Yeah, and it allows, I'll give you an example. When I wrote the column 2 days ago, I wrote a column about yung Jer Floor sa volleyball team na may bagong owner na tapos na bayaran na sila. My tweet in less than 24 hours had 170,000 views. Tweet ko lang yun. So it just tells you the power of social media. And then like 90 people reposted it and it's just parang it's like a grapevine. It's just spread. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, iba na talaga yung technology ngayon. But Homer Sayson, from the radio to the social media, still adapting. In fact, trending these days. Okay, so if you don't mind me asking, recently you've been trending. Would you mind talking a little bit about that situation with that certain basketball? Can I name the name?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it's public purview naman eh.
Yeah. What's happening there? Usually kasi sa boxing, boxer versus boxer, nagtatirade, nagtitrade. Pero ito, journalist, uso na talaga ngayon kahit sa boxing, kahit vlogger versus boxer. What's happening?
Well, ito nangyari. I never, this is the first time na I had a little encounter with a player because, I never do that. You never, the relationship is supposed to be professional. It's designed to be professional. Pero ito yung nangyari. So, Mikey Williams is a hindi maintindihan ng mga tao. That's why I say, kasi nakikialam daw ako, marites daw ako, ganito, ganon. So, here's the thing. Mikey Williams is a public figure, whether he likes it or not. And the team that he plays for is public entity. So when you combine public figure and public entity, you what do you have? When you marry a public entity and public figure, it breeds the child called public interest. So ang public interest is the job of the media to report na, kasi ako, if consider this, if I am a TNT fan, I buy tickets to watch their games. I buy merchandise, hard-earned money. I inconvenience my schedule. Pag may laro ang TNT, manonood ako. May karapatan ako malaman ko, hey, saan na yung best player namin? Diba? So, ba't hindi lumaro? So, that was what I was trying to do. So, every time na mag-report ako, to be fair, I would always go through the people of Mikey Williams. Yung may dalawa siyang tao na nagre-represent sa kanya sa Manila, diyan in Manila. And then his father, I call his father too, and like, hey, sir, ito yung story ko. Can you ask Mikey if anong reaction niya before I post it? So often walang sagot si Mikey, which is fine because hindi naman obligasyon ng player if he chooses to speak or not to the reporter. Karapatan niya yan. Ang problema is this: when I got out the story, nag-tweet siya na marami daw sinungaling, ganito.
Fake news, gano'n.
Yeah, I said fake news. Then, reluctantly, I had to come out because, if you're being called a liar, that is the very crucible, that is the very heart of a reporter, is your integrity and your believability, your credibility. So that's why, against my my very very core na never out your sources. So I had to say, hey, hindi to right. I spoke to your father kasi sabi niya wala daw akong kinausap. There were 2 PBA executives that told me, and then I also spoke to his father. So I replied to him. After that, hindi na siya sumagot. And then I also wrote an open letter to Mikey Williams last Friday na lumabas sa Spain na na-explain ko sa kanya. And to the many other people na hindi kami nakikialam sa pasweldo mo. Money is very awkward when you talk about money, especially other people's money. When it comes to public figures, money is none of our business. Kung baga, like for instance, ikaw, sabihin na, nako, ang ganda ng Louis Vuitton ni Apaw, paano kanya kinuha yan? That's none of our business. But if you are a public figure, like for instance, general ka ng military, alam natin, pasweldo mo, 300,000 lang ang buwan, but may mansion ka, may 10 BMW ka, may Mercedes ka, then that becomes public interest. Kaya nga, di ba, may SALN, di ba? So, yun din yung kay Mikey. That's what I explained to Mikey. And kasi nakisali na rin ng isang player na si Chris Ross sa San Miguel.
Yes.
Sabi niya, that's why I wrote the column too. Sabi niya, stop watching other people's pockets. No, we're not watching other people's pockets. In the context of, like, for instance, kung si Mikey, ito yung pasweldo niya, and then he chooses to spend it this way, wala tayong pakialam. Pero, kung malaman natin na ang sweldo niya is way more than the salary cap of the PBA, then that's public interest. That's news. So, yun ang na-explain ko. So, yun ang masyadong hindi naiintindihan ng mga haters at saka yung mga walang, who don't do the research. Mga keyboard warriors, kumbaga.
Sir Homer, itong mga ganito kasing balita, hindi basta-basta kaibalita to ng kahit sino man. I mean, ako, minsan pag may mga balita ganyan, parang natatakot ako kasi medyo, critical kind of news. How do you define what kind of news can be broadcasted, it can be shared, especially if it's critical? Meron ka bang certain points na parang delikado to either for me or for the person na ibabalita ko? Especially sports to, hindi naman to politika.
Yeah, you have to,
first of all,
you have to, as long as, yun na nga, ang key here is the public interest. Mm-hmm. Like for instance, if a player, we talk about a player, kung yung player, if you talk about his relationship, sino yung dinidate niya, then that's nobody.
Pero marami nagbabalita niyan.
Oh, marami
nagbabalita. Yan ang uso ngayon.
Yes, yan ang uso. But you never see me report that. Ang akin lang, like for instance, I did in fact, when I did the feature interview today, lumabas sa Spin yung column ko kay Hodge, ng player ng Meralco. I even asked him now, pwede ko ba i-post yung picture ng wife mo? So yun lang, as long as the article is like walang personalan, yun lang, walang personal. Yes. It's just, you don't out kasi yung girlfriend niya, ilan yung kapatid niya, ganun, because those are things that are outside na yun, out of bounds na.
Pero sometimes sometimes, Sir Homer, I've experienced this, yung marites na sinabi mo, ganyan din sabi sa akin minsan. But of course, ibang-kaiba tayo. But yung personal, maybe it's you, it's not personal. How do you deal with it when, even though you professionally wrote it, your intention is professional, but it seems like pinapersonal ng ibang tao?
Yeah, yun ang
daming ganyan eh.
Yeah, marami, but me, ang outlook ko niyan, Pao, is that there are always 3 sides of the story. Your story, my story, and the right side. So ang akin lang, as long as you cannot worry about what you cannot control. So ang akin lang, as long as I do the things I'm supposed to do according to the tenets of journalism and responsible reporting, wala akong pakialam anong sabi ng iba. If they give me my flowers, it'd be great. I would smell the roses. But if they give me negative feedback and hate me, then I don't have time for them. So yun lang. You just do your job, do the best you can, and and the rest will take care of itself.
Thank you. Parang lesson na rin sa akin ito. Pero matanong din kita, medyo critical question, if you don't mind. It's not just Mikey Williams. May mga ugong-ugong, there's some issue with the PBA. How is your relationship with the Premier Basketball League? Especially yung ibang mga teams doon. Na parang medyo mainit ka daw sa pagbabalita ng ibang teams. How do you respond to that?
Sa PBA or sa...
Sa PBA or sa team. So,
that's
sa
the Philippine
PBA.
Basketball Association, PBA.
Yes.
Well, to be honest, the PBA doesn't like me because,
Yes.
I say things that, I say this with, hindi tayo nagmamayabang, but I just say things that nobody else is willing to say.
Mm-hmm.
And, when people are used to not hearing things that are uneasy and uncomfortable, magagalit sila. And in fact, I can tell you how many times na may kakausapin akong player or kausapin akong team executive na sabihin na, no, pinagbawalan akong kausapin ka, sorry. So, but you cannot take those personally, So, pero may mga players din naman like Hodge, yun ang sinabi ko nga sa iyo, yung player ng Meralco na interview ko kahapon. They still talk to me. Roger Pugoy of TNT talk to me. So you cannot worry about, kumbaga sa di ba, there was an old saying na you cannot save all the orphans in the shelter, but you do your best. So yun din, you cannot expect na lahat ng mga sources makuha mo. There's always gonna be some pushback. But from what I've learned, having been in this business long enough, is that as long as you are accurate with your reporting and you do a good job in terms of accommodating them, kung anong gusto nilang explainer or narrative or whatever, as long as you do your job and respectful ka sa kanila, I think you're gonna be, you're gonna do okay. Kagaya ko, like many people marvel or wonder na bakit siya nagbe-break ng mga stories sa PBA? He's living in another country.
Yeah. I was wondering about that as well. Tapos sabi mo pa nga, PBA doesn't like you. So how do you still do your job? Like, kumbaga, actually, pag in my opinion, when you write a topic about PBA or certain individual, you actually support them in a way. But sometimes kasi negative ang balita, but not all negative. So how do you do that? Hindi ka ba nagkakaroon ng bias sa pag-iisip mo? Dahil,
bias. If a writer has no bias, Pao, he would not be a good writer. Bias is one of the main ingredients of good writing. But the thing here is that your bias has to be supported. Like for instance, pag sabihin mo na, mas gusto ko ang chicken curry, you can't just say na, okay, you cannot just leave it at that. You have to say, kasi gusto ko may spice, gusto ko yung color niya, gusto ko yung amoy. So you have to say, so when you write a topic, especially with a specific player, you have to blend the good with the bad. Kasi pag puro lang naman good, sabihin na, hindi naman maganda yan, parang PR lang, di ba? But if you also keep attacking, sabihin, negative naman palagi ito si napaka-exhausting. So you have to find that delicate balance. At the same time, still arriving at the same destination, which is the truth. So yun ang importante. And insofar as the sourcing is concerned, ang sa akin lang is no different than you having a podcast now. It's the work that you do, the quality of your work. Kasi kung maganda, like for instance, if I do not believe in the quality of your show, I would not waste time here and speak to you. Diba? Same thing with me. Whether you like it or I would like to believe na even if a team or a player doesn't like me, they see my work and they're gonna be like, okay, they have to separate the person from the work. So you compartmentalize mo lang. And I have faith na some of the teams and some of the players nirerespeto yung trabaho, ang quality of work. Sabihin, minsan si Homer tumitira, pero sometimes naman when it's deserved, then he would also praise you. That's what it is. You do not park in journalism or writing a column is not parking on one lane. It is multiple lanes. And you have to be able to navigate those lanes. Like
natawagan ka na ba ng balimbing dyan dahil paiba-iba ng lane?
Yeah, because yun na nga. I give you an example. Yung ka Mikey Williams. Before nangyari itong konting friction namin ni Mikey Williams, I've been writing really good columns about Mikey Williams. Nako, ang dami mga haters. Sabi, magkano bang komisyon? Magkano bang binigay ni Mikey Williams sa'yo? After na lumabas yung column ko na isa na medyo nag-aalitan ng konti, hater yan. Kasi hindi. So, but that's why, if you pay attention to those, that's when you can sleep good at night. Doon ka mababaliw.
I like your mindset. Parang
Yeah,
medyo nararamdaman ko ng konti yan ngayon. Pero
I
I like
understand.
your mindset. I'm glad that I spoke with you and truly marami akong natututunan. There's so much more I want to talk about. I have you on a limited time because I still want to discuss about the PBA. And I'm sure you're gonna be, as yung sasabihin mo dito is gonna be beneficial to all of us, especially you're looking from the outside. Since you're writing about PBA and I see a lot of posts about PBA on your Twitter, recently, PBA, and I just had this video saying that PBA is going viral for the wrong reasons. They need to be viral, but they're going viral because of the Pido Herencio issue, the suspension, and the gate attendance. What do you think is the real problem of the PBA? And from your side, being a journalist for the people for a long time, can we resolve this, or how do we resolve this?
It's hard because the number one problem of the PBA, Pao, is the lack of parity. Every conference, it's always San Miguel, TNT, Ginebra, and Magnolia. So when you have it doesn't matter whether it's a PBA or any competition na predictable na ang outcome, people get tired of it. Why do you think the NCAA is so popular? Yung sa US NCAA na win or go home na mantra. It's because you never know ano mangyari. Even the PBL, look at the PBL, yung Professional Volleyball League, ang daming mga, you never know, ang daming mga powerhouse teams. And then even the lower tier teams can still compete. Dito sa PBA, Terra Firma, Blackwater, Phoenix, they don't win. They almost never win going to the Final Four. So yun, pag walang parity. And then, it's all interconnected. Kasi, then you ask, bakit walang parity? It's because there is no set salary cap.
There is, di ba?
There is a salary cap, but I would like to believe, from what my sources tell me and from what I've reported over the years, that the salary cap is more honored in the breach than in the practice. Okay. Kasi may mga so-called, allegedly, ayaw nating ma-cyber libel tayo, but allegedly may mga under-the-table deals, diba?
Allegedly.
Like for instance, I have been openly reporting that Mikey Williams, for instance, his salary, according to his agent, na nagtulong sa kanya to secure that deal with TNT, according to him, Mikey Williams' salary is allegedly $24,000 a month. Wow. $24,000 a month is not 420,000 pesos kasi yun lang ang maximum dapat ng PBA. So, to go back to our point, bakit walang parity? It's because the rich teams like TNT, Ginebra, San Miguel, Magnolia, they can afford, to get the really, really good players. Mm-hmm. And, because they have the means to afford it, yung mga inferior na mga teams, of course, you don't have the talent, then mahirapan ka. So, yun ang problema. And that's why people, especially Filipino fans, are very discerning, di ba? Kita nila, why would you waste time? Alam natin kung di naman papasok yan sa semifinals, di ba? And there's a reason why. Pag semifinals na, marami ng tao because Ginebra is there. Mm-hmm. And it's not Ginebra's fault. I never fault the players kasi, kasalanan mo ba yan? Kinuha ka and then you've been taken care of, di ba? Yeah. So you want to play for the team. So, but if the league wants to really prosper beyond the rich teams, kailangan ng parity. So yun lang.
This is the hard question. I mean, it seems like even me, I'm not in the PBA, even the regular fans know this for a long time. Why do you think after right now, hindi pa rin nare-resolbahan to?
Yeah, because
imposible naman, sir, na siguro yung mga ibang team walang pera, may pera naman siguro. Is it maybe willingness to spend?
Yes. Certain teams may budget lang. Kasi corporations di ba? Let's just say ako may PBA team ako. And then my company is not as big as San Miguel. San Miguel makes billions of pesos every quarter, di ba? Profit yan. Di ba? Mismo ang, di ba? Remember that news cycle na si Boss Ramon ang mismo ang nagsabi na they spend 2 billion for teams in the PBA. So it just shows you kung isang maliit team ka, yung tinasabi nila pa na independent team, so you do not have that same budget, so mahihirapan ka. And that's the reason why yung mga pick ng Terra Firma, pick ng Blackwater, they usually end up doon sa MVP group or SMC group because they can never. Tingnan mo, yung mga star player, for instance, Jeremiah Gray, galing yan, si Moonzone, galing yan sa mga maliliit na team, Terra Firma, Blackwater, tapos lilipat sa malaking team. So, yun lang. Walang parity. That's the problem.
Is there a solution?
No, I don't think mahirapan because if you're San Miguel, obviously you want to keep winning because it's good for the product.
Correct.
At the end of the day, why do you join the PBA? It's big commercial endorsement, di ba? That's how you.
Nga, sabi ko nga eh. Some team wants to just have a marketing, some team wants to win.
Yes.
So maybe iba-iba yung goal nila. Gusto lang makita yung brand nila.
Yeah, because if you spend that kind of money, you have to have the best way to liquidate that is to translate that into victory. Diba? Kung ako yung big boss ng isang company, tapos let's just say may-ari ako ng PBA team, Powcast PBA team, diba? So, may-ari ako, and then ikaw yung GM. Tapos sabihin mo, Homer, kailangan natin this amount of money para sa mga players. Ibibigay ko that amount of money. So, at the end of the day, I will ask for the return of investment. Oh, wow, ba't ang laki ng gasto ko? Walang title? Also yun. The other things, they are limited sa budget nila. Marketing lang ang pang-budget nila. So, makita lang sila, brand recognition and all that stuff. Pero hindi talaga kagaya ng San Miguel at TNT where they breathe and eat basketball na talagang kompetensya talaga.
How about expansion? Teams?
Expansion?
Could that be a solution?
Yeah, sabi ni I'm not sure about this, but it was sabi mo, I'm not sure if Kume Marshall said it, but toyed with the idea of an expansion. But again, if you cannot guarantee parity, it would defeat the purpose.
Yeah.
Kung hindi ka maka-parity with your 12 teams now, can you imagine how you would even dilute the product? Dadagdagan mo pa ng isa o dalawa. Ang suggestion ko, although it would be so logistically challenging, lalo na sa mga independent team, it's a home and away format. I don't know. I don't know if you're old enough to remember the NBA, yung Metropolitan Basketball.
Romel Aducol, yes.
Yes, because it was.
Pero nagagawa ng MPBL yan, ng ibang liga, yung home and away.
Yes.
So kaya naman siguro.
Kaya nga. It's gonna be logistically. Ang kaya ng PBA if they want to. The problem is, do you have the political will to do it, the wherewithal to do it? Kasi sanay na sila sa Maynila, di ba? Na the logistics lang. And then if you're making the same amount of money naman, then why fix that's not broke,
pero
diba?
Ang pangit kasi tingnan na po, the best players of the country playing without any audience.
Yes.
Kaya kinukumpara ngayon yung MPBL sa PBA. Question, sir, is there a concern right now? Do you think another league can already malampasan yung PBA o malayo pa? Or would that day come pag naging ganito lang ng ganito PBA? What do you think?
The MPBL has a chance, but it's the only league that has a chance. And PSL, okay din. But rest in the knowledge na talagang ang PBA mahirap na yan because that's been around since the 70s. Diba? And then when you have a league that is backed by two of the biggest corporations in the country, mahirap talunin yan. Diba? So it would really take a lot. Pero may chance. Tingnan mo when the Pampanga Giant Lanterns play at the Brengiao Stadium doon sa Pampanga. Ang daming tao.
Grabe.
It's fully packaged. So it shows na at the end of the day, it's still the product. Kasi no matter how much iteration you have on a specific brand, kung ang quality pa rin, we all go back to the quality of the product, the quality of the work. So, kailangan maganda. Kailangan the players have to be good, the product has to be good. Pero as it is right now, as presently constituted, mahirapan talunin ng PBA. So, the PBA will be around for a while.
Okay. All right. Good to know then. But, I mean, we're fans tayo. Gusto natin makita sana na mas exciting. So, kaso nakaka-frustrate din paminsan-minsan. Pero nandiyan pa rin yung best of the best players. So, we gotta continue to watch. Speaking of sa PBA, I also wanted to ask you kasi expert ka rin dito, yung Gilas Pilipinas, OQT, the situation, yung SBP sa SMC, how do you see this? Dapat ba magprepare na tayo sa OQT? May pag-asa pa ba tayo dyan? Should we focus on this?
Yeah, we have to. Olympic qualifying is gonna be an uphill climb, but ang sa atin lang naman mga fans, sanay naman tayo sa heartbreak, di ba? But sometimes
nasanay na tayo sa gold. Naka-gold tayo, nakatingin tayo ng gold.
Yeah, but actually, I hate to rain on the parade, but the Asian Games was not even a FIBA sanctioned tournament, so it was more like an intramurals. So ang importante, Asian intramurals, hindi yun FIBA sanctioned. So
hindi kasi diyan ka rin nababash din sa
but sometimes, like I said, you have to call, the job of a journalist, especially if you're a columnist, is you have to call something as it is, even though it might sound uneasy and uncomfortable. Kasi we cherish, I'm not diminishing na ang effort ng mga players natin at saka team natin. I'm happy for them, but in the grand scheme of things, kung talagang gusto natin World Cup, and the Asian Games was not FIBA sanctioned. So, kung gusto natin yung Olympic qualifying tournament, that one we have to prepare. Kailangan natin ng preparation. But, I have already run out of things to, gaano ba pag-prepare ganito, because, nothing seems to work. Ang problema kasi is lack of preparation time, and then also you have to identify your players.
Lagi na lang preparation, kahit na alam natin na yun ang problema. Lagi pa rin yun ang problema.
Yes. Tingnan mo mga Asian Games. Di ba? Malapit na tayong hindi nga nagsali sa Asian
tayo.
Games. Yeah. So we have, to me, kung hindi lang sana tinanggal si Coach Tab Baldwin, that would have been the best. Because, you see how the program had grown by leaps and bounds. And then, while he was doing really great things in there, because of whatever reason, di ba, tinanggal, tapos, balik na naman to square one, because, the program, iba na naman, it's a different voice, different show, so yun lang. Dapat, tingnan mo yung mga teams, like Argentina, Italy, may continuity sila. Importante kasi yan kasi when you're talking, dito boxing, Pao di ba? Boxing, isa lang, ako at saka ikaw, dito, punta tayo sa ring, we weigh ourselves and then let's go. As long as we go into the specific weight limit. Dito sa basketball, maraming variables. You have 11 other teammates. Diba? And then you have chemistry, you have sets to run. You have defensive schemes to run. So, kaya kailangan ng cohesion, kailangan talaga ng practice. And that's why the Denver Nuggets are going to be so hard to beat in the NBA Finals this season because of the cohesion, the familiarity. And if you also notice, yung Warriors, when they made an unbelievable run of 5 NBA Finals appearances in a row, yun din, continuity, importante yun. And that speaks volumes about Gilas na kung seryoso tayo sa OQT, kailangan prepare na tayo now. We don't have to wait next week or next month.
Yun ang problema. We're gonna go through the NBA kasama yun sa tatanong ko, pero I just wanna go back kasi si Tab Baldwin, isa yan sa na pinag-usama namin recently, and just a connection because you mentioned him. I was gonna ask you sa national team natin kung sino yung tamang coach sa national team moving forward, because I don't know what's the situation with Coach Chot, if he's still gonna be there, but in your point of view, and mukhang may idea na ako dahil sa sinabi mo, is Tab Baldwin the best option for us?
Yeah, he's the best option, but I don't think he is an option for the people who call the shots. Yan lang.
Why?
Yan lang.
The best option but not an option. Why?
Yes, he's the best option kasi it's so complicated, and one thing, may mga kalaban kasi Coach Tab, a good guy.
Political.
Politics. Yes. And
okay.
Remember yung tinawag yung mga coaches na tactically inferior back in the day, diba? So
yes.
He went on a podcast and called things, and the local coaches, yung BCAP, Basketball Coaches Association, some don't seem to forget, and they have carried that grudge like a passion. And yun, maraming inggit kasi sometimes when you win like him, you win a lot. You pinch a nerve. So mga competition. Yun ang problem
for us kasi parang pride ang naririnig kong issue pala dito. So if it's not Tab Baldwin, we probably should stop talking about it because the decision maker doesn't want to do that. Then who?
This would be very unpopular, but kung ako lang, may alam akong dalawang NBA foreign coaches na may mga NBA pedigree na mag-a-apply once it opens. So, going foreign, would that be a bad idea? Kita naman natin si Tabalon. Unfortunately, hindi ko mapangalanan ngayon. I do not have the liberty to divulge. But we go the foreign route, why not? Tingnan mo Meralco. Meralco has a active consultant, Nenad Bosevich. And even TNT, when Coach Chat, meron silang active consultant. Converge has Raiko Toroman as a consultant.
But how about Tim Cone? He did well sa Asian Games na kahit na intramurals pa lang sabi mo, but he did well on a short period of time.
Yeah, but he also said that he doesn't want it permanently. He doesn't want the job permanently. Because if I'm Tim Cone, you have nothing more to prove. You have 2 Grand Slam championships. You get paid an unbelievable amount of money coaching Ginebra. So coaching Gilas, although, national pride, all that stuff, it's more risk than reward. Bakit? Tignan mo si Chot Reyes. He quit kasi daming bashers.
Normal sa Pilipino. The best fans, but the best basher din. Sobra.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate. Kasi Chat, if you know Chat, Coach Chat, mabait. He's many people will disagree, pero I would be willing to call him a gentle, caressing soul. Mabait si Coach Chat. Kaya lang, you are in a position where masyadong exposure. Kasi alam mo, Pilipino, parang buffet, di ba? Sometimes basketball fans in the Philippines, mga kababayan natin, parang buffet. The eyes are hungrier than the stomach. So yung expectation natin, mas mataba pa sa talagang kapasidad natin. Di ba? Just like, I give you an example, Kai Soto, just because he's 7'4", people always say, okay, NBA na yan. But no, there's just more to being an NBA player than just... I remember one of the columns that I wrote na talagang nabash ako na grabe when I said Kai was not ready to be in the NBA. I broke the news. 2 years ago, I broke the news na si Kai will not be drafted. That night, remember, he's going, and I wrote it already. I said, nope, he's not gonna be drafted. I heard na yung workout niya, he did not show the speed, he did not show the lateral movement, wala. So masyadong marami nagalit sa akin, sabi, hindi ka Pilipino. No, yeah, I'm Filipino, but I have to tell the truth. So ito yung ano ko di ba? So balik yan sa sinabi mo kanina na how do you reconcile na, you try to be fair, but at the same time, you have to say things that are not comfortable for other people. Yun din kay Kai, but look at that. Even though at that time, galit yung kampo ni Kai sa akin, but look, during the NBA Summer League last year, sino ba palagi interview ni Kai? Ako. Because they trust me. They know na, hey, he might say critical things, but when there are good things to be said, he will also write it. So that's just, that's how it works. Kasi,
it's good. Dapat ganun talaga ma-realize din ng mga athletes that you're just doing your job.
Yeah,
you just cannot just report the good things. You gotta report, what needed to be reported.
Listen, kung ikaw pa, if I consider you a friend, if you shoot 36% from the free throw area, I'm gonna say you are a lousy free throw shooter. Diba? Because the numbers don't lie. So yun lang nga. Sometimes nga, because of yung generous spirit natin na Filipino tayo, there would be some insincere pieties, di ba? Sinasabi natin sa mga kaibigan natin yan, di ba? Kahit na, ganda ng outfit mo, pero in real life, sabi natin, naku, hindi naman terno yan. Di ba? but then we say things that, just to make our friend. Yun na nga, that's the thing. Reporting is just, it's like sports is a microcosm of life. Same thing. Pag fans mo, give you an example. When Calvin Abueva played for another team, hated siya sa mga ibang team, pero naging team siya ng mahal na siya. Just like Dennis Rodman, we used to hate him here in Chicago kasi nasa Detroit siya. Dennis Rodman, very dirty player, ganito, blah, blah, blah. And then, naglaro sa Bulls. Ang galing ni Dennis, ang bait. Di ba?
Walang permanenteng
Yeah, yun na nga, just like, like sports nga, in sports, the beauty, kaya nga ang mga tao, not just in the Philippines, but around the world, why do we like sports and politics? It's because winners or losers are clearly defined. Walang tie score. Talagang it's either you like it or you don't. It's either you win or you lose. So yun lang. If something is, I'm the kind of person na even sa pamilya namin, di ba, kumakain, tapos sabi ko, naku, hindi masarap ang pancit ngayon ah. See, you have to tell the truth. You can't just say na just because your mother
Pero
cooked.
na-develop mo lang yan, sir, ba? Or from the start, baguhan ka lang, ganyan ka nakatapang mag-report?
Yeah, it's not. First of all, the most important part is you have to have the allegiance to the facts. As long as you have the facts. Kasi if you don't have the facts and you just say things, wala ka. You do not have the yun ang sinabi na ground to stand on. Like I said, kung sabihin ko na ako ang he's a very lousy free throw shooter. Tapos titignan nila yung statistic. Oo nga pala, 47% lang pala talaga. Di ba? So I'm not scared of telling you that you're a lousy free throw shooter because the facts manifest it. Pero kung sabihin mo na kasi kaibigan mo, sabihin mo, naku, ang galing talaga mag-shoot ni pero 62 lang. You can't say it's good. So, as long as you have the facts. Yun na nga. Yun na nga sinasabi ko nga.
Madrama. Speaking of facts, sir, I wanna ask you directly, kay Soto, after 2 years, he had done to different journey. Does he still have a chance? Do you still see a chance?
Well, if I'm gonna
sa NBA?
Yes, if I'm gonna put a numerical value or sa expectations sa chances niya, I'd say 30%. And it's because
what's missing ba?
Well, first of all, Pilipino tayo, di ba? We do not have the same as far as basketball is concerned. Kasi first of all, I'm not saying na Pilipino tayo, mahina tayo. No, ang bilis ni dati, dami natin mga Abarientos almost made it to the NBA, di ba? So we have all the tools. Kaya lang, when it comes to Kai Soto, 7'4", mabagal pa talaga. And, kung nakita mo, if you watch him in the summer league, he does not have the strength yet, di ba? May isang tweet nga ako when I was there sa summer league. I posted a couple of tweets na yung nag-rebound siya, talagang he was like being abused by
bullied
by players that are even 6'6", 6'7", kasi malaki di ba? So yun lang, that is why also sabi ng kampo ni Kai, when he goes back to the summer league next July, he will have, ang expectation nila is that he will have 15 pounds of muscle. So kailangan niya ng muscle, and then they would work on his agility kasi depensa. Pero
yung style niya, sir, hindi ba, kasi mga nagsasabi, he needs to change his style, ginagaya niya yung mga modern, para hindi naman ganun yung, yung movement niya, yung mobility niya, he cannot be like that.
Yes, because, if you're a muscle car, you cannot pretend to be a sports car. So, you have to do what's best for you according to what your skill sets, according to your skill sets. Ngayon, the NBA game has evolved so much na yung kahit na mga players na kagaya ni Kai, back in the day, 7'4", tayo ka lang dyan sa under the basket, ilob yung bola, kuha mo, di ba? But ngayon, you have to have a reliable jump shot. Okay naman ang jump shot ni Kai, but he needs that 3, di ba? And then I think the problem also is just really the defense. Talagang depensa kailangan kasi, you would become a liability kung wala kang depensa, di ba? They would
mo.
Yeah, they would eat, the NBA would eat you alive. If they see you na, ganito, weak siya, mismatch, they switch, mahirap. Yun na nga, because of the lack of speed and the lateral movement. Kasi, alam mo, diba, palagi nagsiswitch ang NBA. So, on a switching offense, mahirapan si Kai dahil he will end up guarding somebody who's 6'3", 6'2". Patay siya. He'll be blown by or, talagang ma-mismatch siya. So, yun. Mahirapan si Kai. But, we're still praying for him. Yun ang sabi ko. We're all rooting for Kai, but somebody also has to be there reporting what is really going on. Kasi kung tayo lahat, yun lang nga, I always tell yung mga readers ng Spin. I'm not here to placate your feelings. If you wanna read my column and you wanna feel good, I might not be the columnist because there are going to be times when I say the truth, and the truth is sometimes painful, di ba? And I do, and hindi ko yan ginagawa pa just because to be controversial. Na sige, ganito. No, it's just my thing. If you look at my columns, I write almost every day. Most of my columns are positive. Pinupuri ko yung mga player, ganito. But when it's time to say, oh, hindi maganda to, then I'll say it. Kagaya na nangyari kay Pido Harencio, then I will say it.
Yes.
Na, Pido Harencio is a very good guy. Naalala ko, in the 90s, bata pa ako, I used to follow the games of UST versus UE, sina Alan Kaidik. They had that fierce rivalry. But what he did Wednesday night, hindi maganda yun. The PBA has to discipline him. Because, iba kasi, you are a person of, kung player ka, it's okay, hit of the moment thing. But when you are a team executive, you're 59 years old, and you're fighting with a 30-year-old player, you're supposed to be the adult in the room. And not only that,
yung sinabi niya kasi, sir, ayoko na sabihin, pero yung mga sinabi niyang
Happy
New Year, yung parang
yan ang sinabi
medyo
ko. Yan ang sinabi ko sa tweet ko kahapon is, he said it was a joke, and I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. But if you say bullet and along the lines of wait for you outside and your voice is screaming, I don't think anybody's laughing. So it is, I think, Commissioner Willie Marshall has to fine or to ban him for a couple games, whatever the guidelines would allow. Kasi kung allow mo lang na slap on the wrist, mahirapan tayo because what example does it set to our players? Na, okay lang pala, sisigawan tayo. Tapos may mga Happy New Year na gano'n, okay lang pala. No, it's never okay. So, yun lang. So, tingnan natin. Kasi baka, alam mo na, yun ang to borrow the words of Comnoli Yala, I was guesting his show also today. Baka bata ni boss or, lakas kay boss, di ba? So, so hopefully walang, there's no favoritism. And, like I said, we're not punishing the person, we're punishing the action.
The action, yes. I'm really glad na nakausap kita dito. Yung mindset mo, I'm learning a lot from it, and thank you very much sa mga inputs mo. We're 52 minutes. I promised just an hour. Just a few more questions.
Yeah, it's okay.
May nakikita ka bang Pinoy na pwedeng mag-NBA? Kasi alam mo naman tayo, yun ang inaanap natin eh. Papakita na kagad rin sa bando, pwede na yan. Alam mo naman, maraming mga news, rumors. Meron ba so far?
I like, malapit na sana dati si Dwight Ramos. I like Dwight. I don't know if he still is even pursuing that dream. But Renz Abando, yes. Galing ni Renz. So, kita mo siya, he's so effortless, parang pogo stick. And then if he bulks up a little bit, has a 3-point shot kasi magaling na defender, di ba? So that's one.
Very player. Athletic.
Yeah, very super athletic. He is the athlete in the word athletic. So talagang magaling si Abando. So he's one of the guys na itong si kung if he were like another 2-3 inches taller, si Kiambao, yung player ng De La Salle University sa UAP. Magaling din. And who I also like, but he's kailangan pa rin ng konti, but Jamie Malonzo sa Ginebra, maano din. Yeah. But, but si talaga, kasi there is this, I don't know, maybe I'm old school, na, yung pure-blooded Filipino, Abando. Talagang maano natin na talagang Pilipinong-Pilipino.
Sariling atin.
Yeah, just like that's why the affinity for Kai Soto, di ba? Every time, most of the time anyway, when we write about Kai Soto, we always say the first full-blooded Filipino. Di ba?
Correct.
Yeah, hindi Phil-Am, hindi ganito. No disrespect to all the Phil-Am. I'm not throwing shade on them. I'm just saying na ibang-iba. Di ba?
Speaking of, just wanted to switch now, a few last topics. Sa NBA, sir.
Tsaka boxing mo. Wala pa tayong boxing mo. But anyway.
Tinitig advantage talaga kita sa basketball because I'm trying to get back to that route. Most people doesn't know. Before I was known for boxing, sa PBA ako, nagpa-accredit ako. Isa ako sa naunang vlogger doon eh. Napayagan ako. Oo, sa PBA. Kaso, ang daming kalaban, hindi ako
Yeah.
makaangat. Sa boxing, walang nagbabalita. Ako lang nagbabalita sa local. So, doon ako nakilala. Para hindi nila alam, mahilig din talaga ako sa basketball. Kaya medyo marami na rin tayong connection sa boxing, yung mga balita. Tsaka kilala natin yung mga boxers. Sa basketball, gusto kitang makaus. Pero tanongin din kita mamaya sa boxing kasi nagsulat ka tungkol kay Manny Pacquiao. Pero I wanna ask you first, you talk about the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets not the top team right now. Who do you think will be the champion?
I still like Denver. When I said
Still
on the top of the podcast, it's because of the continuity. And, Jokic, they still have that big four, Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And yung bench nila, ang galing talaga. And then, like I said, I always like the continuity. Tingnan mo yung what do dynasties have in common denominator? It's the continuity, the same person.
Yes.
When the Warriors went to the finals 5 straight years, sino ba? Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and then you just put pieces around them, Durant and all those guys. So same thing with Denver. And plus, when you have that, yung natikman mo na yung championship and yung playoff, yung tanaw ng championship experience, mahirap na because mahirap talunin because, you respond to the pressure better, you deal with adversity better. So, kaya sa tingin ko, Denver. But, the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks will have plenty to say about that. Kasi, ang galing din ng Boston at Milwaukee.
Yun nga ako, Boston ako eh. So I was gonna ask, kaya ba ng Boston? Baka maganda ngayon ang Boston, ang ganda ng first 5 nila eh. Ang ganda ng pagka-add nila kay Porzingis at kay Drew.
Yes, Porzingis brings a different dimension. Back in the day, if you remember, first of all, I've been to 19 NBA finals as a accredited journalist. So, in one of the NBA finals that I covered, pumunta ako ng Boston, yung natalo sila sa Denver. No, this was before they lost to Denver. Warriors. When they lost to the Warriors. Pag na-clamp down si Jaylen Brown at saka si Porzingis, medyo nalilimit mo yung offense nila. But with Porzingis now, who's 7'4" and can shoot a 3 and can also switch defenders, it adds another dimension to them. So, at tapos, Drew Holiday, I take him any day, 7 days a week, twice on Sundays, over yung point guard Marcus Smart. So, talagang and then you still have Al Horford. So, they've lost pieces like Williams and, the aforementioned Smart. Pero Boston, magaling rin. But then, if you also look at the Milwaukee Bucks, I've seen so many games of the Milwaukee Bucks, Pao, and how are you gonna guard the pick and roll with Lillard and Antetokounmpo? Mahirap. And then they have also Middleton. They have so many wings that can shoot. Ang galing ng Milwaukee Bucks. So the Eastern Conference playoffs is gonna be really, really fun to watch. And then again, at the end of the day, Denver.
Wemby, Chet Holmgren.
Wemby. Just because the upside. See, Chet Holmgren talaga. I think Chet will win Rookie of the Year. But because
in the long term, Wemby, you think?
Yeah, long term Wemby. Talagang abiso, ang galing talaga. I'm looking forward to seeing him December 16 pupunta dito sa Chicago ang San Antonio Spurs. I can't wait because I'm gonna cover Wembanyama. I saw him in the summer league. Ang tangkad, it looked like a 3-story building with arms and legs. Talagang ang tangkad. I could not believe what I saw. And then when I saw him play, my God, those are things that, like you'd see from guys that are 5'10", 5'7", ang handle, ang speed, ang mobility, at saka yung 3-point shooting. Couldn't believe it. Ang galing talaga ni Wemby.
Okay. Salamat, sir. LeBron James, sir, grabe hanggang ngayon. He's breaking records. Do you believe na tama to, magandang tanong sa ito kasi medyo old school ka ng konti. LeBron James, is he surpassing Jordan now?
No,
sobra na.
Hell no.
No,
Jordan. Again, I'm just telling your listeners na questions like this are arbitrary. There's no right answer because it's all about preference. It's just like kaya nga ang restaurant may menu. It's because you cannot expect everybody. Kasi kung restaurant mo, specific lang ng isang menu, wala ka, mahirapan ka to compete with restaurant that has a full menu. Because if you have 5 people walking in a restaurant, you can expect them to eat the same food, di ba? One will order chicken adobo, the other will order kawali, the other will order sotanghon. So the same thing with basketball. It's all about preference. But to me, Jordan, 6 NBA finals, 6 wins, 6-0 in the finals, 6 finals MVPs, rookie of the year, and not only that too, the ambassador of the sport had taken when you transcend basketball. Tingnan mo hanggang ngayon, how many years has Jordan been retired? Almost more than 20 na. And then even Ateneo,
sa parang usapan.
tingnan mo Ateneo. Tingnan mo pag mag-warm up sila. Even Coach Tabalwin, anong logo ng Ateneo? The Air Jordan. They are sponsored by the Jordan brand. Jordan is as popular as the silhouette. Kanang yung silhouette na sa crosswalk. That's like Michael Jordan. Everybody knows him. So yun na. And then, again, it's one thing to say now, I'm picking Jordan because of, he's in my generation. No, I'm picking him because of the output. LeBron had been to 10 NBA finals, but he won only 4. Jordan went to 6 and he won it all. And you can make an argument now, Jordan had never been to a game 7. Yeah, because he always takes care of business. Why would you want a game 7? Hanggang 6 lang si Jordan, and sometimes 4 when he swept the, when he never swept the Lakers, but he won 4-1 Lakers at saka Seattle Supersonics 4-2.
Okay. Speaking of greatest, matanong ko na rin to. And this is just the last 2 question na lang.
Yes.
Speaking of the greatest, na pag-usapan din kasi, Junmar Fajardo recently got another MVP. So people are talking, Junmar or Mon Fernandez?
Again,
or do you have any other player in mind?
I hate Ramon Fernandez only because I was a Crispa Redmanizer fan, not a Toyota Tamarao. But flowers when flowers are due, Ramon Fernandez. Ramon Fernandez evolved. Maski saan siya pumunta, di ba? Tanduay, Toyota, San Miguel. No disrespect on Junmar Fajardo, but San Miguel, ang dami niyang magagaling na mga teammates, di ba? Because San Miguel is San Miguel. But if you look at it, I still like Fernandez because of his yung bagang diversity ni Ramon Fernandez. May skyhook pa nga si Ramon, di ba?
Yeah.
Junmar is more like the low post guy. Although he's surely but slowly developing a jumper. Ramon Fernandez ako.
Okay. Last question ko, sir. Personal.
Yes.
Paano ka pumapunta si Snow Badua, yung kaibigan natin dito sa show ko?
I do not control the si Snow Badua. Kumbaga
nagkasagutan kami niya kay Yumi Marshall eh.
Yeah, but Snow is a good guy. Sometimes he gets excitable, temperamental, pero mabait si Snow. And I'm sure, and isa din kay Snow, he don't hold grudges. So kung whatever...
iniimbita ko kasi niyan eh. Iniimbita ko siya. Ayaw ko pansinin eh. Pero nagkunwari lang sir. Kasi nakikita kita, nag-ano ka sa kanya recently. Nag-guest ka eh.
Yeah.
But sir, siguro po, kayo po ba ay may vlog na din? Dapat yata mag-vlog na rin kayo. Makikita ba natin yan sa future? May channel ba kayo?
No, I just don't have the time for it anymore because between work, family, and all that stuff. Ito nga ang PBA, as my editor-in-chief in Spin knows, I wake up kasi I like writing my columns in the middle of the wee small hours in the morning kasi that way I sleep early para mag-rest yung brain, then I wake up before
Pinunayat pala kita today.
Yeah, huh?
Pinuyat pala kita today.
No, I'm good. And then, I rest the brain and then, and then I write my stories para mag-post sa gabi. And then I do whatever I do to work here in Chicago. So yun lang. And then rinse, repeat, and,
So
yun.
what can we promote about you, sir? Kasi usually, sanay ako na, sige, promote mo na yung channel mo. Twitter, ano ba yung mga gusto mong i-promote? Or may shoutout ka, message ka sa mga fans mo, or kung sino man, before I let you go, sir?
Isa sa mga supporters ko is Midas Corporation. So shout out lang ako sa Midas ni Serge. And then, yun, of course, yung Twitter ko, at Homer Sayson. Yun lang.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter. If you want good news and explosive news, breaking news, nandun tayo sa Twitter.
Ayun. Yan, isa ka sa source ng mga vloggers kasi
Yeah, I know.
pag may tinweet ka na, ayan na, masarap na mag-vlog. Kaya sabi ko mag-vlog ka na rin kasi doon kumikita ngayon eh.
Yeah, yun ang sabi na, you're missing out. And I said, it was never, money is good, but kung ang motivation mo in whatever job you want to do in life and the money is the only motivation, good luck. Because ang mantra ko is that do what you love and the money will follow. So
there you go.
So yun lang.
Salamat. Salamat po Sir Homer Sayson. I really appreciate the time. 1 hour and 5 minutes. Sa lumampas ako ng 5 minutes. Thank you so much. See you again, sir. At saka kung anytime may sabihin mo lang sa akin. So, salamat po.
Yeah, if you need me too, like, you have my number, you have my contact information, available naman ako.
Sa NBA siguro.
I will make time for you, yes.
Salamat. I really enjoyed the time. I'll see you again, sir.
Thank you.
Salamat po. Sir Homer Sayson, grabe, napagbigyan tayo ni Sir Homer Sayson. I really appreciate that. And syempre, pasalamatan ko rin, aside from Sir Homer Sayson, yung ating sponsor, Arena Plus. If you want to learn more about it, send me lang a message sa aking Facebook page and baka bigyan ka ng bonus. Thank you guys. Please share, like, and comment kung nag-enjoy ka. And I'll see you again on my next live. Comment nyo na rin kung sino ba yung gusto nyong interview ko. Kay Sir Snow kaya.